Hey everyone, it's Southern Belle Canto. I have another review for you today. I'm actually still at my grandma's and it's a crazy snow day. We have a ton of snow. I'm filming this on January 3rd. Yeah, January 3rd. So if you check my Instagram at Southern Belle Canto, you can see all the crazy snow. I mean, there's like probably close to a foot of snow. I've never seen that much. But I just finished this book. It's about 11:15 in the morning. And I finished about 11 o'clock, and I started it yesterday at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon yesterday, so fairly quick read for me. This was Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. This was my first novel by Colleen Hoover, and I can see why a lot of people really like her. Sadly, this was a 3.5 star rating for me. I think on Goodreads I rounded up and gave it a 4 because I could see why a lot of people really like this book. So I want to preface my review of the book by saying if I had read this novel while I was in high school or college, this really would have been more of my jam. I know I would have loved this book a lot more. Just how I was at that time in my life, this would have been like my everything. But as of late, I just didn't click with it. So it was a 3.5 rating, but it was a nice book. I probably am a little different from everyone else. I heard a lot of complaints about how Miles's chapters were like kind of in a kind of in a poetry sort of thing, but it wasn't really. And I liked how his chapters were written. They were very stream of consciousness sort of thing. That's kind of the vibe I got. So I enjoy Virginia Woolf, and I actually write. When I wrote my papers and stuff, I write in stream of consciousness, which can be kind of annoying for some professors I had. But I liked the style of writing for Miles's chapters. Now, as a whole, I didn't really love Tate as our heroine. There wasn't much that I connected with on her level, and I didn't understand her motivation. This was a book where it was weird. I didn't see a great development of the romance. They went from being, we're enemies to lovers, but she meets Miles. He's drunk and passed out on her door. So Tate has moved to San Francisco to live with her brother. Her brother, I don't think they're twins or anything, but her brother probably was a little bit older, and he's a pilot. And apparently this apartment building houses a lot of pilots. And so she meets this drunk man in his 20s. He's like passed out drunk. And so she's a nurse, and she basically doesn't know what to do with him. At first she thinks he's an intruder, but then finds out from her brother Corbin that that's his friend Miles, who's his like best friend. And so she takes him into the house. She puts him on the sofa, makes sure he's like on his stomach so he doesn't choke on his vomit and stuff. And she just sort of, the next morning wonders who this man is. Why is he crying? Why is he calling for a woman named Rachel? Well, then we go to Miles's chapters, and we find out he met and fell in love with this young woman named Rachel, and their senior year of high school. I think it was like the January semester of high school, so like last couple months of high school. And it's very much they're in love at first sight. Well, plot twist, Rachel and her mother moved to, I guess they were in San Francisco. Yeah, moved to San Francisco because turns out that Rachel's mom is dating Miles's father. So complications for sure. And, Miles and Rachel, they're going to start with, oh, we won't do anything. We'll just have to give this up. Or we'll just kiss. Well, kissing leads to more and more and more. And then Rachel ends up pregnant. And so this is all 6 years prior to the story. So when we get Miles's chapters into like the last 40 pages, they're in the past. And Tate is present day, and there at the end we get Miles in present form. But I don't want to give away too many spoilers, so there's kind of a framed narrative in the work where we have two sort of stories, romances, so to speak, for Miles. Basically two great loves, although with both women, I didn't feel like they loved Miles. I guess Tate did. I don't know. I didn't really see the romance. I liked Miles a lot as a character. I wish it was just a book from Miles's point of view. And honestly, he just had a new love interest because I didn't really like Rachel and I didn't like Tate either. So that was just sort of different for me. But I liked Miles as a character. I liked how Colleen Hoover wrote his chapters. And I can definitely see why people love this book. It is very emotional. I will say that. It's very... It gets you in that like warm, tingly feeling, like you kind of like a puppy love sort of feeling if you're reading it. I just sort of overlooked that, you know. I'm 29 years old. I'm going to be 30 in a few weeks. And like I said, if I was in my mind when I was in high school or early college, oh my gosh, this book would have been everything. It gave me the same emotion as reading this as I did when I was reading like Nicholas Sparks books when I was in high school and college, and probably some other authors. It was just that warm kind of nostalgic feeling of first loves and first like strong loves, and that's a really lovely emotion to have, and it's a lovely emotion to hang on to. And maybe I'm just a grumpy person, but that sort of sailed for me, I think. But I love this story, and I'm not done with Colleen Hoover. I gave this a 3.5, which, you know, I'm pretty fair with my 5s and 4s, and it was good. I didn't love it, and yeah. But I do plan to read more by Colleen Hoover. I put one on my birthday list, and I think well, that one's not on here, but I think it's called It Ends With Us. I think it's pink with like flowers. I think that's the name of the title. That's the one I put on there. Because this one I know is really popular, and I think It Ends With Us is really popular. And I thought this book was like going to wreck me. I thought it was going to be very, very sad and crying. And it was sad. It was emotional, but I don't know. You know, different things hit different people at different times. And at this point where I am, I'm not in that, I don't get emotionally changed with the writing that happened in here. Other things can make me really sad, which I don't really want to talk about them to get sad, but I've read some books last year that I definitely was like weepy with. And I think for me, as a Sudai older person, I was more emotionally connected with like the Bridgerton stories, like with Francesca, with the death of her husband, and you know, having all those emotions. I'm more in tune to knowing that I'm at a different part of my life where I could be saying goodbye to people that are close to me. And I've had a lot of sad experiences, which, you know, I'm not going to go into, but yeah, I've had when I was in 3rd grade, I had a friend that died tragically. And so, you know, I faced a lot of grief, and this has nothing to do with the book, but I guess I'm just sort of saying why, I'm explaining why this book didn't give me such an emotional response. But I liked it. I mean, I'm not going to write it off. And I can say if I was teaching high school English, well, I probably wouldn't be able to teach this because of the sex scenes. But if I had like my niece or nephew when they're teenagers, if they're looking for like a romance to read, they're like 2 and 4 now, so it'd be a while. I would recommend this. I think this is a good starter romance. And if you like contemporary romances that aren't, this is a heavy hitter, so I don't want to negate the drama and the sadness and the hurt. There's a lot of pain in this book. Is it an ugly love? No, it wasn't for me. I think if I was 15, 16, I would be sobbing, planning on getting a tattoo or something of this. But yeah, it just didn't give me a connection that I at my age and at the point in my life, well, it's not really about age, but as myself at this point in my life, I'm not getting it from this book. But I understand why a lot of people love this, and I don't want to discredit people that gave this 5-star, because I know why this is a 5-star. It's a very good book. It's emotionally pulling. It's got good characters. Again, I like Miles. Tate, wasn't a fan of her, but yeah. I have rambled so much I'm rambling Rose. And I might as well wrap this up because I'm going into some different routes, but hopefully this wasn't too upsetting, because I know this is an author people adore, and I'm not hurting this book. I liked it. It's good. 3.5 out of 5. That's a good. That's B+. Is it an A? Not for me, but I know why people give it an A. Well, everyone, let's see. I like to do a question for my comments. Is there a book that, well, sort of like this, that you've read that's a popular book, or either with friends or the book community or just best-selling, that you didn't like? Wow, didn't love. Let's say didn't love. I liked this book. Didn't love, but you could understand why people would like it. If there's a book that you've had that's like this, let me know in the comments. I'd like to know, see if I liked it or not, if I've read it. Should I read it? Should I not? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, as well as comment, please. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Southern Bel Canto. I have some fun stuff planned for TikTok, but nothing too crazy as of right now. I'm mostly on YouTube and Instagram right now. I'm doing more on my Instagram. I wasn't posting a lot on Instagram because I was working on Vlogmas, and I kind of just did the story sections for my video postings, because the thing I hate the most about videos and promoting and everything is the hashtags. And you can't just copy and paste the hashtags. At least on YouTube you can't. I don't know how to override it, but yeah. Everyone have a wonderful day. It's snowing like crazy here, so check my Instagram for that picture. And if you've watched this video and you're checking my Instagram, leave the snowman emoji so I know we're correlated. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye, everyone.